Hello everybody, my name is Scooby and welcome back to another random video. And it's the Halloween special. Yep, it's a Halloween special. So this is a fun, creepy one. So without further ado, let's get into this video. What's worse than a haunted house? A haunted town. So we're going to talk about the most haunted town in Britain, or the UK, or supposedly the most haunted town in Britain. Without further ado, let's keep going with the video. So let's get started talking about the most haunted town in Britain, Pluckily Village. It's not too far from London, so it's not that bad. But yeah, it's apparently the most haunted town. It's said to have no fewer than 12 to 14, maybe even 15 ghosts. However, no one seems to have created a exact amount. I'm assuming most people just, like Scooby-Doo, ran in the other direction screaming. I'm guessing. The village is said to be home to many, many things, including a highwayman, a screaming woman, and a screaming man. So let's talk about some more ghosts. Pluckily Village also holds the record, the Guinness World Record, for being the most haunted town in the world. Are you supposed to be proud of that? I mean, okay, maybe it's pretty good for tourism. Besides the point. So let's talk about the ghosts of Pluckily. Number 1, the highwayman. Well, he's not quite Dick Turpin, but, well, the story goes, and he probably is one of the, has one of the more enjoyable locations in Pluckily. It's a lovely little corner called Fright Corner. That's where the highwayman is supposed to reside. And the story goes that he got into a bit of an argument a long time ago in the 18th century with the local peacekeepers of the village, who apparently just sort of killed him. Yep, that's the story. He annoyed the peacekeepers, so they killed him. Great one for the law enforcement back then. Moving on, the second ghost of Pluckily. The ghost of a teacher. Many years ago, a teacher was found on a lane in Pluckily with the absolutely spectacular name of Dicky Bus Lane. His corpse has been seen there for about 100 years or so. Supposedly he hung himself after World War One, and he was found by the miller, who was called Dicky Bus. And if, like me, you laugh when you heard the name Dicky, yeah, it's funny. We'll move on to the next ghost. Number 3, the Screaming Man. The Screaming Man is supposedly a bricklayer from Pluckily who was crushed to death by a wall of clay. I'm assuming the bricklayer had to make his own bricks back in the day, so I'm guessing he was trying to make his own bricks, and I think it fell through a bit for him, if I'm being honest. Pluckily is not just home to many human ghosts. At number 4, ghost horses. Yes, Pluckily isn't just home to human ghosts. Oh no. Pluckily is also home to some 4-legged and 4-wheeled hauntings. Seen and heard around the village are ghost horses and a carriage. There's nothing else on that one. I'm assuming the horse and carriage got killed by something, or maybe it just liked the village of Pluckily. Who knows? Number 5, the Red Lady. The Red Lady haunts the local graveyard. That's where ghosts hang out, innit? However, It's apparently a family member of the Derringer family, otherwise known as Lady Derringer, who in the 11th century was apparently laid to rest in a lead coffin with a red rose on top. Apparently been seen wandering the graveyard at night, searching for the grave of her stillborn child. It's always an uplifting story. Ghosts have got to hang around somewhere. And the highwayman's got Fright Corner. The teacher's got Dicky Bus Lane. Red Lady's got the graveyard. Number 6. The Menacing Monk. A local house known as formerly known as Rectory Cottage, because that's where the church rector lived, now known as Greystones, is apparently home to the Menacing Monk. However, he's not been seen for years since the name was changed. Guess he liked Rectory Cottage, and when they changed the name, he decided to move on. But, given this town's reputation, I would not be surprised if he returns. Number 7. The Gypsy Ghost. The ghost of a gypsy woman has been seen on Pinnock Bridge. The story goes that she used to sit there from time to time smoking a pipe, and apparently one time it went a bit wrong and she got set on fire and she burned to death. Although, one thing though, she'll never be cold again. If, like me, you like a good drink / booze or alcohol, you'll probably want to go to the next place on this list. Number 8. Pub Ghosts. The Blacksmith's Arms in Pluckily is said to be haunted. Apparently within the pub's walls resides a Tudor lady, or a Tudor maid, the ghost of a coachman who hangs about the fireplace for some reason, must constantly be cold, and the ghost of a cavalier who likes to make a racket upstairs. I wouldn't have called him the cavalier, I would have just called him the ghoul. You should go and rattle some pipes. Number 9. This one's a grind, as it is the Misty Miller. It's not just the teacher apparently that keeps coming back, but also the man who found him, Dicky Bus. As he lived / worked as the local miller after World War I. However, during the time, the local windmill apparently was destroyed to ruins, and Dicky Miller sort of just comes back before thunderstorms usually. Yeah, he's been spotted before thunderstorms. So if you happen to be in Pluckily, near the ruined mill, and if you see a ghostly figure up next to the mill, I'd just go and sit in the pub, let the thunderstorm pass, you know. Telling you, Dicky Bus is probably more accurate than your local weatherman. You know, if he shows up, you're probably guaranteed a thunderstorm. Number 10. Thieving Ghosts. I prefer to call them tricksters. These ones actually, I would rather call them tricksters than thieving ghosts. However, if you happen to be scared away either by the coachman or the Tudor lady from the Blacksmith's Arms, you could always nip over to the Black Horse. Which apparently the ghosts have never been seen, so we have no idea what they look like or who they are. But apparently they have a habit of nicking stuff and returning them a few days later. I mean, is it such a bad thing? Like, well, unless they keep nicking booze. Wouldn't want to get them back after a couple of days. Number 11. Another lady. This time, the White Lady. White, red. What we have gonna have next? See-through? Either way, she haunts the church. And apparently she is a former member of the Dering family, whose home used to reside in the area, which has now been demolished and has been replaced with the church and library. Yeah. So her house got knocked down, so she said, you know what? I'll just haunt the church and I'll throw the library in as well. But yeah, she's been seen in the church and in the library, and she's supposedly part of the Derringer family. Or Dering. Dering? Yeah. I keep going to say Daring, but it's Dering, it's an E. Why are her names so annoying? Well, it seems that Pluckily has more than one hangman, as there's a story of a colonel who supposedly hung himself in the woods near Pluckily, and his spirit has been seen wandering the area since. Even though all the trees and the area has been cleared away, he has still been reported to be wandering around. Had no idea Pluckily was a hanging town. Well, not that they had a judge anyway. I guess the people themselves were their own judge, jury and executioner. And they weren't very merciful on themselves, to be fair. Poisoned Ghost is number 13. And it's even more unlucky. One of the 200-plus-year-old houses has a dark history. Supposedly, a maid there decided it would be a good idea to eat poisoned berries. Surprise, surprise. She also died, and has now been seen in this house again and again and again. No surprise there. But they do say things come in threes. On to the second last one. And talking about things coming in threes, number 14, the Haunted Hunting Lodge. That's now a pub. Yep, Pluckily has not one, not two, but 3 haunted pubs. So you can have a drink and get scared in 3 separate locations. The Hunting Lodge is said to be haunted by the ghost of a lady who has a bonnet. There's not a whole lot to these stories, pretty cut and dry. Number 15, the Screaming Woods. Another area that's a bit of a tourist trap is some spooky woods near Pluckily, where after dark it's said the screams of people who have lost their way in the misty woods are heard. Are you brave enough to stay in those woods? A lot of these stories seem to be pretty cut and dry. For example, Highwayman was an outlaw, got into a fight with the local cops and got killed for it, and haunts a specific point. 3 people technically, opted to commit suicide in the village of Pluckily and decided they weren't going to stay dead. Decided they were going to come back. All of these stories have the same conclusion and ending. They're short, they've been around for a long, long time, and they still have a massive impact today. But whether I can say Pluckily Village is haunted, that's for you to decide. This one will remain unknown. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, potentially subscribe. It would be awesome if you did. Yeah, and happy Halloween. Bye bye.